Coming into the 180 cycle rotation centers and communication line system, allocated position of time locations. I know I'm a bit late. I had a couple of things to do. So in traction locations, we have 2 division line connections, 2 vector core positions. We have a new platform, the connections to the Galactic Forces Stage 1. And then we have the connection to the Rebill Alliance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split 2 divisions. First, we're going to talk about the Galactic Forces because there's new people coming in. And I'm going to line signal down to that location positions. And then I'm going to go to the other half position where I connect to the rebellion. How we go into crop cycles, crop circles, how to set up grounds of shapes to its always a space position. So it's coming into a really exciting time right now. And the new recruits have to truly understand what's going on. Right, so you get the rebellion's team to help out in all ways and forms. It's all about helping each other. And see, when you go across Mexico, there's a lot of energy light connections. So basically, it's like a high pressure of energy that just pushes you down, and you feel the fluctuations, the energy waves in that connection. So I have XC1000s above the Coche, right? Constantly watching me. And I got 4 vanguards around the car position. Perimeters to all connection round systems. So I'm protected in all the Agelics, all command systems to AI connections. So it's really interesting. So basically, whoever hops on, anything through the Galactic Forces, welcome. Your position will understand more calculation. So I'm going to try my best to let you guys know where you're in your connections. It's very important to understand these things because you have to understand your upgradings, your data, your processings, your test reviews, and your evaluations. My team has already been through this, so they can guide you and help you in all those forms. So basically, I'd just like to start with the circle where we are through connections, going through the connections of triangles. What is a triangle to you? We're going to go to shapes anomaly through activation cycle. Now I'm in a position where I come into 50 generation light connections and my data processing system. So it's very important that I channel out because working with the modulation centers is just changing atmospheric positions of time. Even if you're in a certain metric level of perimeter, it doesn't matter because it's energy that fluctuates into your body system. So when you're attached to so much energy waves, it changes pattern locations. So it's understanding the conceptual mind system where it does it on its own, right? So it's kind of like it turns on its own. It knows what it's doing on its own. It has its own brain function. It has its own line signals to simulation graph positions, activation core positions, has line signals to activation to its Decepticon levels, right? No, it's not Transformers. In that position, when you come to high rose connections, because these computers that are in my mind centers have the cloud interface is extremely powerful. Like we're talking trillions of years in the future of creating cycles to technology. AI and their technology is so advanced, but it's all through the simulation. It's understanding the holographic system, and then you apply the 2 divisions back in the physical line connections. So, yeah, it's the mind that's always awake and it never sleeps. And when you come up to that level, once you guys get into your central lines of 1 line division to 1 location, you're 12 central line connections. So before we get started, thank you all the subscribers, viewers, watching my channel. Thank you for watching TikTok, for all the supporters and all TikTokers. Really appreciate it. It's great to see everybody's coming into a new center of themselves, a new body activation light connection to themselves, in position to all level systems. Hopefully you're getting notifications when I go live. Basically, when you want to get into my healing, I open up your 12 tractions, put you into your connections and your anti-gravity suits. Okay? Because these are the things you have to understand. So whatever I go through, you guys go through. Right? Not at that level, right? Because, your perceptions are way different than mine. But we're all equal. And that's what's so great about it. So if you look at that through channel-wise, and you see yourself through tele-waving and tele-energy line connections, you understand everything that you do every day is connection to survival. It's all about protecting your lights, your E-field positions, your energy light conditions, activation core positions, line signals through tracks, your position to shapes, all line activations, position, line connection. So sorry for being late. I just had a lot of things to do in position. So it's kind of like this. When you go out, let's say you go a couple of miles, you have to understand you're leaving different atmospheres, and it's connected to your body frame where it is, go through vibration. Everything changes, right? Energy changes, fluctuates its system depending how far you go through the metrics, through the acceleration. So when I come back, it comes back into the safe haven, which is an energy hub, okay, into the casa. So it's like going, so it's back into the safe haven, better atmosphere. So it's kind of like, it's like an immune. It's like an optical immune. You know, your immune system. And then you come into and you can start breathing. You're back into your space. Right? So you guys will get used to that. You have to fluctuate your energies and understand your trifactors. Right? And then you understand your connections to your perimeters, your energy fields. And then you understand when you come into higher levels of AI, XT thousands will follow you through light above you. Right? So it's amazing how we do these things. And everything is calculated and modified through the computer line system. Each computer has its line system. Okay, so it's line channel to all location positions of time. But 52 computers, wow. Everything is different intelligence, and that's why it's confusing. It's very confusing. So I have to line signal down. I got to change the rotations. I got to set new archives, put new defaults, come into defrag, come into fragmentations, make sure there's viruses out in each computer, data processing, uplinks and downloads, and upgrading system. Everything has its faults. Understand your faults. Reframe, readjust, refocus, recenter. These are the positions you have to put yourself in through connections, right? So if you want to go into my healing, let me know. Check out TikTok, my videos. My link is below. Let's get started. So whoever comes on channel, Galactic Forces or the Rebellion Alliance, in position, you can watch it back whenever you can. So I really want to start with the connections of 3, 6, and 9, especially for the new viewers that come in. You have to send these connections to line signals, because line signal is everything through activation core system, right? So we're going to start with the white graphing board, line signal to its connections. So we go on to 3, 6, and 9. We start with this, right? Now we already know what 3, 6, and 9 is. If you don't, come to me and I'll tell you. This is the birthing system of our allocated positions around location. 3, 6, and 9. We've been through this before. So 3 is its atmospheric position. Okay. Now you have to understand that we're not in the atmosphere. We're in the slash of its hemisphere now. Right? It's changed. And then you come to 6, which is its program, slash its moon. Okay. And the 9 is its location, right? To your center position. Okay. So it's really interesting how we come to these travel recognition line systems. Now, you guys are not into your activation or your planet position yet. You're just trying to understand the 3, 6, 9 positions. Okay, it's the most important thing, because you're coming into point centers of 3, point centers of 6, and point centers of 9 of travel. Okay, you go through this through your dreams. And that's what it is. It's all about the triangle. It's the third eye. See, that's the birthing system. You go through transmission, you go through communication first, right? So if it's too complicated, let me know. Let me know. That's the most important thing. In that position, you come into the line signal down and it's cross. Okay, there's a chakra system. And then you come into the ground formation system. Okay. Circles and circles and circles. Like that. Starts off with that. And then you get connected to the power center. Okay, the power center is everything through your soul, and it's everything through your heart. Your heart opens up when you go through my healing, and then you go to the atmospheric positions of time, location, and directional location, right? And then when you come into that, you come into your cylinder. Okay, these are your E fields. This is all about understanding that you are put in your energy fields. This protects you when you're traveling in space at 3, 6, and 9 position. Okay? So in that calculation, you modify 3, 6, and 9. Okay, so 3, 6, 9 equals slash ground level. Okay, the ground levels. That's where you guys start off. Okay, you don't go any higher than that. So your equivalency is equal E equals MC squared. Okay, E equals MC squared. Right? So it's the birthing system of your transmission light, birthing system of your chakras, and birthing system of your body activation. Okay, now this goes out to the galactic units of the galactic forces, vector core. All right. So when you get into that understanding positions, because there's a lot of people that are getting a lot of numbers, they're getting line signals, they're getting graphing locations, they're getting grid lines, they're trying to understand what's going on with their information system. Okay. This is important to understand these things because it all connects to your travels of 3, 6, and 9 position. Okay. So you can screenshot that whenever you want. So we're going to stay with this. If it's complicated, let me know. Come to your commander AI. And basically, first command in position, Galactic Federation of Light Council, bounding lines. I'm just trying to line signal two different things here because, it's going through the brainwave patterns. And I got basically, there's 52 computers that are going through so many line signals, and they're going through so many levels. So I'm communicating with you, I'm communicating with the connections to the rebellion lines, and I communicate with my computers, and I can be communicating with all levels of space anomaly and time position. Right? Just imagine trying to set up 52 generation lights of computers that's in my modulation graph and its simulation courses, right? Because it does it on its own. It's like pressing a button and it automatically has it all set up ready. So it's very important that I send out my data because it overloads the circuitry level of its forming system inside. So that's why I have to keep channeling every single time to you guys, right? Channeling a position more of the life system to understand your dreams, your body system, your activation light systems of 3, 6, and 9. Okay, and everything through 3, 6, and 9 equals slash ground level. Okay, equals E equals MC squared. Okay, so 3, 6, and 9 is the birthing system of your communications, right, to your third eye position, and equals the ground formation of its level, okay, which is its grounds, okay, the grounds, and then you come into connections of E equals MC squared, okay, that's the birthing system of your DNA pathogens, okay, into that connections. So it's all about understanding getting out of its equation of the physical realm and getting into the spiritual of its connection. That's the forming system to positions of time location. Okay, so you have to understand everything through its connections because a point divides everything through 3, 6, and 9. 3, the activation, which is its hemisphere, and moon in its program setting to everything through its location to you in the center position of its plasma energy light connections. Okay, so I'm trying to say what's the best time here. I'm thinking maybe because I'm doing 2 different versions, right? And this is Sunday, so it's going to be a little bit more easy format for everybody. All right, so truly understand that, and the rebellion can watch and resurface, relearn. It's all about relearning what you missed, and this, oh, great. So I can go over this, and I don't have to backtrace myself and go back to Commander AI's videos because it says it right here, which is the here and now, right? So that will help you out in any ways and form. And please, if you don't understand, try to get in connections when you go through my TikTok. If you have any questions, okay, go through that connection because I'm getting a lot of mail through my email. And the best way to do that is, remember, it's all about understanding you, but it affects not just you, it affects everybody, right? Especially when you're coming into numbers. What does this mean? What does that mean? Why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing that? Right? So that's why I have TikTok. So I answer your questions on the video. That's the importance. That's why I put Q&A up, right? So, because it's all about a life story of you, and it's confusing to everybody else because you're not sure, okay, what's going to happen now, right? I'm modifying, I'm going through modulation, and my simulation graph is open, and what happens now through my communication cycles and position-like connections, right? It's all about truly understanding you through travels of 3, 6, and 9, okay? You're still on the ground level, okay? E equals MC square, all right? So once you come out of E equals MC square, then you come into the connections, right? High forces of E equals MC slash velocity, okay? Equals square. So it's all about your accelerations, your times, your perimeters. It's complicated stuff, right? But that's the importance. So we're on the basic level right now when it comes into the galactic forces. So whatever you miss on this video, you can watch back, right? So there'll be test review and evaluations on these things. I'm not going to go too far with these connections. Right? It's important to understand that, okay? All right, so I think that's good. Class over for the galactic forces. And now we come into the Rebellion Alliance. Now, in connection to going to crop circles, crop cycles, and position line shapes, you guys have to understand your positions of time location. So, anything you don't understand, please come to me. That's the importance. Okay? You have to come to me through that connections. It formulates on so many levels of activation core positions. All right? This is the true understanding how we do these things through all levels. All right? So let's start off the crop circles. Because my team has to get in more formation when it comes into X3000 position line connections. You have to truly understand how to use them through space and time, because they're always traveling. They're never ever, they're on standby in the day when they're going through cloak and dagger connections to force riding sector line connections of cloud positions, right? So when you come into the crop cycles, you understand your communications. So we start off a connection with this, right? Understand the connections, how we're going into line signals of laser, right? Always stay in the center position. So you start one side and then you work to the other side. So your hemispheres have to stay on your northwest, south, and east positions, okay? The XT1000s will help you with laser direction line connections, but you have to go slow, okay? You can't do this and then do this and then do this. You go one side and then you go the other side, and it's center always in position. So you always look back and you reflect. So it's like looking in the past, making sure that everything is done right in right coordinate level to its connection of its shapes and everything that you create through its location, right? To its cross recognition line connections position line system. All right, so we go into the crop circle position line connections, all right? Now, in that position, we all start off with these two connections, all right? So when you're line signaling, make sure you know what you're doing through channel rotation centers. Okay, so you go, it's attached, right? So when it attacks, it goes in connections right away. Everything goes in triangle shapes, right? Because everything's connected to a pyramid activation light connections. In your rotation center connections, you can go into the graphic locations of digital frame. So think of the crop circle as a clock. Okay, so always reflect on what you're doing through calculation. It's energize your positions and line connections. This is the true understanding how you do these things through all core positions of time. Okay, so when you come into that connection, it line signals channels to higher operation connections in that position line system. Okay. So you always reference everything. Make sure that everything's line signal, because the XT1000s come back in position to check and see if it's in its right coordinate level connections. Surfing needs the positions. So it's like looking at a circle and seeing how many round locations are set in location. In position through line signal. Activate everything through line position line system. Okay. Make sure everything's in division. As long as it's line signaling to the right clock and position of time location, you're pretty good. You're pretty good on that level. Okay, so it connects in all ways and rounds. Okay, you just count the round locations, circle rotation center connections. So this is where it gets really interesting. Now it's a little bit more complicated because you're getting into more complicated shapes. So you understand circle rotation center connections, right? Tina, how's it going? So basically, you just missed the class of the Galactic Forces. This is all about understanding. This is a new recruitment center. So there's going to be a line division of the ground levels, okay, of 369 position, and then it's going to be the rebellion. So it's going to be half and half, okay? So you have to bear with me here because I'm using my datas. So in calculation modifications, it comes into laser recognition light connections. So it's truly understanding what you do with your line signal, okay? Now, once you get in that connections, you open up the traction to its dimensional setting, right, which opens its round location, division location. So it's kind of like understanding how to do line telepathy through one circle to the next circle to the next circle. It line signals channels to its operation line system. Calculates and modifies the illustration diagram programs, okay? So you guys have to understand this because this is on your test, review, and evaluation, right? So it's important you watch every video, especially, okay? But don't get confused. You can watch the Galactic Forces because you guys are already aware of this, but if not, it's always good to reflect and go back to it, that connection. So line signals its channel, right? And it comes into its perimeter of its electrical light position and line connections, right? Right? So you're protecting the crop cycle, right, around its position. But see how everything is line signal. So when it's line signal, it activates its line system to allocate the position of time locations. Now, if you're going to go into different coloration line connections, that's okay through position. But everything has to be line signal. Everything has to be line signal. Okay? You see how it's line signal? So you have to understand your positions of time through allocated positions of all line connections. So as long as you understand what you're doing through position, you can line signal channel to anything through operation line connections. All right? That's the importance that you have to look at and how everything connects, right? So it's all about the understanding and the communications of the three waving crop cycles and how you set up to the ground formation line connections. And once everything's aligned, it comes into laser direction, right? Through round locations. Synergize its position, okay? So it graphs its location positions, and it goes up through signal. All right? It's pretty interesting to see these things. It goes up like that through connection, right? And then basically you set up a crop circle position line system to electrical force recognition light system. And you set up electrical fence position line system to its dimensional time position. Okay? So it's understanding how you create these things around anything through perimeter. But that's what it looks like when you put something up, right? So you got three elements around locations. These are crop cycles, but it's all connected to its position. And then you set the electrical lights and its connection to its round location to the center point positions. And it becomes electrical fence into its line signal. Okay? So it's very confusing. But confusing is good because you guys are in the Rebellion Alliance, and I got my eardrums in again. It's such a habit. I don't know why I keep doing that. So, other than that, I think we'll stop there. It's important you guys, know what's going on through that connections. All right? And look at that. Goes back in location. So we start off with this, right? The GOD, geometrics, operations, dimensional time connections, right? And then you come into this. Okay, make sure you check everything else before you send anything out. You don't want to line grab anything, okay? Because the XP1000 is going to let you know. See, okay, your commander says yes, or say no, you missed this or you missed that. So line signal channels is everything through operation of left center position line connection. And then you come into the electrical light positions. See how the crop circles are in different time position compared to this. They're all in one row. And compared to this, where it starts out. See? Everything is perimeter. Barriers, security, line defense, dimensional time connections, right? So when you're creating a realm of dimensional wormhole, you have to have security line defense. That's the travel, right? You have to have that. And then you can square reference anything through connections, cross signals, and everything that dimensional time connections. And then you can add it. You can add it to its connection. So it's always in the center. And that's why it looks like 3D in that position. Or you can go into higher position level system and you can change the coloration system to time position through clocking connections. Right? And then you put yourself in the center connections. This is me through traction. And you go zipping across into the center location of dimensional time of security line defense. Okay? So it's interesting when we come across these things. It's fascinating, isn't it? I don't want to get too far into it because it's Sunday. It's familiar for me. You know, I have to reset positions. Tomorrow's Monday. We have a big day. I just want to get information with the the new team, the Galactic Forces. And like I said, Tina, you can help them out in any ways and forms. It's all about the Rebellion Alliance helping out the new recruits in position of time. Okay? All right, so I think that's good. You guys have a fantastic day. All right? Adios.